Cultural responsive teaching. What are cultural influences on teaching and learning? Well, culture shapes how students view the world, interpret information, and interact within classrooms. Cultural competence means understanding, valuing, and integrating students' cultural backgrounds into the learning process. For EL, cultural competence helps create a welcoming space that respects and reflects their identity. By embracing students' cultures, we can make learning more meaningful and accessible, fostering deeper engagement, promoting a stronger sense of belonging. Now, how can EL cultural values and beliefs be integrated appropriately in the context of teaching and learning? Well, incorporating cultural values means being intentional about including diverse perspectives in our lessons. For example, if discussing history or literature, we can include viewpoints from students' home countries or invite them to share the stories or the traditions about their own culture. For even simple gestures like celebrating cultural holidays or encouraging students to have to share how their families view a topic makes students feel more respected and more valued and even more comfortable in their setting, in that particular setting. Um, what is the role of culture in student learning, and how do school and classroom environments influence acquisitions, and what steps are necessary to create an inclusive environment? Culture directly impacts students' comfort level, participation, and understanding. A cultural responsive environment, one that acknowledges and respects all backgrounds, fosters trust, which is essential for language acquisition. To create inclusivity, we can design classrooms that reflect different or diverse cultural visuals, multilingual resources, and establishes routines that respect different cultural norms, like greeting students in their home language or including multi-bilingual signs. What are some strategies for supporting and celebrating cultural diversity within instruction? What are some of the strategies for leveraging home language in cultural assets? Um, well, one powerful way is integrating students' home languages and cultural backgrounds into classroom activities. This could include bilingual resources, partner activities where students use both languages, or encourages students to conduct research on topics that are culturally relevant to them, um, like a range of topics. Celebrating diversity can also be as simple as dedicating a monthly activity or bulletin board to showcase different cultures, celebrating different cultures, helping students see their identity as an asset in the incoming space or the learning space, rather. What are some strategies for responsiveness to the different strengths, needs, and identities of all EL students, including special needs? What are some opportunities and approaches to meet the social and emotional needs of EL? To support English language learners, it is important to recognize their unique strength and needs. This includes differentiating instruction using visuals and scaffolding language tasks to mask individual proficiency levels. Additionally, focusing uh, on social learning could benefit EL students who may feel isolated due to language barriers, establishing buddy systems, fostering peer collaborations, and creating small activities that help build a supportive classroom community. For ELs with some special needs, providing clear and consistent routines and visual supports can create a stable learning environment that meets their diverse needs. Um, Home connections. How might family and community practice funds of knowledge influence language learners? Well, families, we all know, bring a wealth of cultural knowledge and skills that can enhance language learners. These funds of knowledge include storytelling, traditions, cooking practices, music, language patterns that students experience at home. Incorporating these into our teaching can make learning more relevant and bring students home lives in their classroom content and bridge them together. For example, ask students to share family recipes or stories in their home language can connect language learners with personal experiences. Um, what are some strategies to build and foster strong family communities and school partnership? Well, to build strong families or to build strong partnership, we must make families feel welcome and valued. One approach is uh, hosting multilingual family nights or sending communications to families' home languages, inviting families to share cultural practices in class or help plan events also strengthens connections. Collaborating with local organizations can provide resources, support systems for EL families, creating a more inclusive community around our schools. What are some inclusive community engagement practices? Inclusive practices mean extending our reach beyond just school events, participating in community events, collaborating with cultural organizations, and connecting families with language specific community services, such show a commitment to honoring the whole family. Holding community fairs or cultural events at school also shows students to share allows the students to share their backgrounds and strengthens bonds between families and our schools. Then in closing, I want to say that in closing, as educators, as teachers, when we recognize the cultural and linguistic assets of our EL students and activities involve their families, we're creating a more inclusive, responsive, and supportive learning environment by leveraging these assets. We not only help EL students succeed academically, but we also validate their identities and build stronger school communities. Thanks.